Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, aka Cousin Cecil. How you guys doing this week? Not too bad, I hope. Hope you guys having good week. Hopefully, some stimmies are hitting the banks for you. I feel profiled that my stimmy hits on St. Patrick's Day, as a white guy with Irish descent. They put me on there like think I'm going to need it for that day or something. That's a joke. But yeah, how you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming, tuning in, and really appreciate you guys listening in. But this week is ain't gonna lie, it's probably more of a filler because in my opinion, it's been very quiet for for a focus on news. We're on this episode is gonna be, the one right before the Snyder Cut, right before what is it? In fact, there's that's a little piece of news we're gonna talk about too. There's some other events gonna be happening on the 17th. And I also have something working out in the pipeline. I never like to put it on print until it actually happens. But if it happens, looks like we might have 2 episodes of the Cousin Cecil Show next week. And that's very exciting. Hopefully, one step to go into being more of a bigger podcaster doing this kind of stuff. I'm nervous, obviously, interviewing 2 gentlemen, but yeah. How are you guys doing this week? Like I've been saying, just beat around the bush. Honestly, not so much in the gaming besides Fortnite. We are going into the next season, which starts March 16th, and I'm not saying I'm a Fortnite guy. But the idea of they got me committed, and I really appreciate where season 5 started and where it went in the sense of my time, and it was really fun. It was one probably some very highlighted moments of, sounds dumb, but like my PS5 / this winter. It's been really good timing. Obviously, you have to thank more Chalfie and Matt and his wife Morgan for obviously being my squad with 2 shooters and 2 rocks. We have a good time. I appreciate that, and meeting you guys. Well, fuck Chalfie, but you know what I mean, meeting Matt and Morgan. But anyway, and also, I guess I dipped my toe. I got with just with some money. I got Dragon Ball Fighters Z. And just more to fiddle around with, mashing buttons around, do some fighting games. It's fun. I thank God they have an English turnout because I started at the start of story mode and it was all in the Japanese voices. And if you're used to an American version of Dragon Ball Z, it's very distorted for you. But I see why, of course, it's it even had a brand new fighter just announced this week. It has a Super Saiyan 4 Fusion Gogeta, whatever. But it's fun. That's just more for palate cleanser. Yeah, I didn't do that much gaming this week. But yeah. We'll go into the little quick stories of this week. I was trying to tiptoe around. Is Square Enix teased that March 17th there will be a Square Enix presentation, like a little fest, and they also kind of already announced there will be a brand new Life is Strange story or game being announced. So that's pretty cool. I didn't get into Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange 1 was good. the Beyond the Storm was okay for the idea that it wasn't the main team doing it. I've heard good things about 2, and I just haven't got into it. Just more about timing and stuff. And people think there'll be more announcements, but they did kind of have a little list of like, here's what we talk about. It's about basically all the games that we already know about, even ones that are like, the where are they now? So like the idea they're going to have more updates on like what's going on in Avengers, what's going on in Final Fantasy 14 and pilot. We might get some Final Fantasy 16 news. So, we got that coming in. So like I said, we're going to have a pretty good, we're going to be eating good next Cousin Cecil show, especially since if I can get those 2 episodes going. But yeah, looking forward to that. So big things are coming, and then and also more before we get into the bigger quick news, which I'm not going to, but right now today is day 2, and yesterday IGN had was streaming this indie expo. So it was like, see, like, how we usually do on the show, we break down like a direct and tell you all the games that was announced. Would be talking till next week if because like the first week, or not the first week, yesterday's stream was 5 hours of just, and I was shocked because I think, I don't know if everybody had an error. I was watching the stream at the beginning, and my version of the stream was this what is it? This kind of like a direct of a certain company called Paradox. Paradox does like Surviving Mars, Starless, or whatever, Starless, some like space station management show thing. They're all on console, the 2 games I'm talking about, but like it was just all Paradox focus. So I'm like, oh, I'm not going to watch this. I thought, like, how long is this going to be? Like maybe like they have one segment and then we go into another segment. No. Later that day, I got a brand new, like the stream changed. So again, now if you go to IGN.com's YouTube, they have a 5-hour stream of just showing indie trailers. And it's shockingly how much info or trailers there are. And I like watching that. I mean, I've been watching it for a couple hours now. Not like I'm fucking Clockwork Orange, open my eyes staring at it, but like I've been having it for background noise. And all I can say right now is if you're interested in like, what is it? You want to get that feel, a rush of like, man, is there any games coming? Go watch that, because I can guarantee, I can promise you, seeing even the indie games, which I love, they are coming, and they're going to come smack in the face before you know it. They even have, like, of course, the indie thing is majority PC, but there are some trailers in there to show that already announced for PlayStation. Like, there's one I saw today was this one RPG coming called Christ Tale. CRIS Tale. So that looked interesting. It looked like a classic JRPG, but obviously just an indie style, and it looked great. So we're gonna be eating good this year, hopefully, even though the pandemic slowed down a lot of majority big AAA studios, but they still have these smaller ones pushing out the games that are probably going to be our thank you letters this summer to have actual games. And then for another big news that kind of basically overshadowed the whole week was Bethesda Microsoft accusation, are official. They are under the Microsoft umbrella. We had this past week like the European business, whatever fucking is, approved it. The US said it was no problem. And now they're all set up. They had like a little hour presentation, not showing games, but just the idea of like just talking about the whole acquiring Bethesda, blah, blah, blah. And one thing that people have been talking about since is about the idea of what is the fine print for these is there going to be exclusives? Is there what is the fine print to this stuff? And like you've heard since my birthday last September when they announced that they were doing it, I'm already in the boat of preparing. I was prepared for having nothing, having cold turkey. Sorry, you out of here. So at this moment in time, because they're of course vague, and I'm also going to give Microsoft a grain of salt, because when they say world premiere or exclusive, they have in the past not been that, and they also had some different, fine print stuff. But the day on the video, Phil Spencer said, basically, if a game has a legacy on an older or on another system, it's not being removed. It's not, that might be in discussion of getting sequels or new games for that system. So let me put that back. So if like a game has legacy on a PlayStation and they make like a new version of that game, the PlayStation might get that game as well. So let's take a step back. Most likely legacy is assuming they're talking about games that are already on the system right now. So ones that are on there right now are like that. I would think that would have a update and what's the word? Like a DLC is like Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online. Do they have the card game out there? No, they don't. But basically those, like the games as a service right now I'm talking about. I'm assuming Deathloop. Well, Deathloop is we already got that discussion out of the way because there's a contract. So if there's also a contracted thing on there, it's coming to the other systems. So Deathloop's another one. If they make DLC, I'm assuming they're gonna make it. They're still gonna treat the Deathloop on PlayStation like a priority. And then there might be games that are contracted that we don't know yet. So, but it sounds like he said if your platform of choice has Xbox Game Pass, this is why we bought Bethesda. We want games for Game Pass, and we are giving you the games on Game Pass, and that's our first priority. So, the idea of, I'll say it like this, I'll just so we're not tiptoeing. Starfield, I will put on paper right here that it will be the Xbox ecosystem exclusive. Now, I think the out of the other ones, maybe I'm wrong on this, maybe it might be flip-flop, but I don't think we're going to have a Bethesda game on PlayStation besides Elder Scrolls, period, whatever, it could be Elder Scrolls 6. And if they make a Doom 3 of this 2016 trilogy, if they make that a trilogy, because obviously those are the only two games I could see from Bethesda that we are going to get past Deathloop and Tokyo Ghostwire. Everything else, I'm also prepared for it not to come. So the idea, I'm just giving you guys maybe hope, if you guys, the 10 of us that we listen. I'm just saying, I think Bethesda's now gone. And, that's good for business in the sense of it hopefully pushes my PlayStation to make some moves, and what it is. But congrats for Xbox, get some, have some, their studios, Phil Spencer is looking like he's the very hungry director to make it look like Xbox is a top tier. Well, of course they are, but you know what I mean? give you your reason why you're committing to that ecosystem. So hey, congrats on them, but we'll see how these go, because I don't want to say like that's set in stone, but I am prepared for no more Bethesda games. But it is what it is. Why would you spend $7 billion and not make them exclusive, but also a lot of money on the table to make $7 billion come back quicker? So we'll see. But yeah, basically, like I said, that was basically it. And look, we're not even that far in. So I also made a little list of, we're still kind of early this year. What are some my most anticipated games for this year? I wanted to just more say, kind of look into the eyes of Cousin Cecil of what I am and, what I like. So I break it down into like this little list of, 5 big AAA games that I'm very interested in for this year of 2021. First, let's go into the more discussed ones that are for sure coming to 2021. First off, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. I'm very excited for that. I love the remake. I think this one looks amazing, especially, I'm not saying like through the power of PlayStation 5, but no, it just looks really good. I love that type of game because you'll also understand even some of the, I made a list of indies too, but I like that platforming action style of gameplay. Really almost my bread and butter. I almost bought Yooka-Laylee this week, and I've heard it's bad, but I just know that it's only $13 for 2 games, and I got itchy. But yeah. Another one is Back 4 Blood. This is that this one's also in debate. Is this a big AAA game since Turtle Rock is independent and like, what's the word on this? But Back 4 Blood is, when I said from Turtle Rock, it's the makers of Left 4 Dead coming back into the 4-player co-op zombie horde gaming spectrum. And I'm only saying it because also right now I have a squad of people that sound interested. Granted, Matt and Morgan are on Xbox more ecosystem. They do have both, but maybe they'll pick up Back 4 Blood because they're hoping for cross play. I don't know about that. We'll see, because obviously they're small. I don't know if they're focused on that. But Back 4 Blood looks great. It looks like, this generational graphic wise of Left 4 Dead has new ideas with like this card system for your player to make them either stronger, faster, Daft Punk song you want to talk about at the same time you talk about getting stronger. But it looks interesting, and that comes out this summer, so looking forward to it. Next is Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is probably going to be when Gotham Knights come out. I'm giving it right here. I am deleting almost every multiplayer game on my console. So I'm going to remove Destiny. I'm going to remove, if I could, I'd put a a baby gate on Fortnite. Fortnite could not be played during, except only for this 2-hour window of the day, because I want all my time and commitment into Gotham Knights. Oh man, Gotham Knights looks amazing. When they first announced it at the DC Fandom, and they just show the idea of this Gotham City that's open world. You can be Batwoman, Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, Tim Drake Robin. But it just looked so perfect to what I like. Like the idea of like, even it has multiplayer or whatever, which, I know people that will play. Well, the idea that we can like sneak in and have these brawls and action, like combat style, but in multiplayer mode. Looks great. Oh man, that's really, because that one is, I think, I don't want to say it's for sure coming this year, but it just, that is my real pie. If I had to pick number one of this list, because I have two more, that's going to be my top one, Gotham Knights. Because the other two are Far Cry 6, that has obviously the trailer. You know, pandemics do weird things. I don't know if that's going to get stalled out into 2022 like they do, like that early, maybe January, but they've also been hitting their release dates for Far Cry to get it around December. So it still counts as 2021, but you know what I'm saying? It might not count for this year's Game Awards, but yeah, I like Far Cry. I liked Far Cry 5. I liked where it was going in the sense of it had a little. I didn't like, okay, I'll give that. I didn't like Far Cry 5 for when you progress the story a little too much of that sector. They come and just automatically go, like, tranquilize you into the next, like, story info dump of that mission. I'm like, let me be free and let me just go to the certain point and get sleepy and fucking go into the story mode. But I digress on that part. But Far Cry 6 with the more not saying it is and not saying it's not, like that Cuban setting of like a dictator with I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I was the guy who plays Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian, and obviously he's from Breaking Bad. I don't want to say his name wrong, so it's better for me just to say it like that. But yeah, and then of course this one is I think a fever dream if it's coming out this year. If it does, it's like they listen, they committed to the thing. But of course, God of War 2, Ragnarok, it looks great. Well, I don't even know if it looks great, but the idea of the story that they built off of God of War's remake of the father and the son journey and breaking down the barriers of that father that has, you know, basically PTSD of his life before him, and it's struggling. It's really good to watch because, like, I'm not no fucking veteran or that, but the idea of just having, you know, mental issues of, like, the idea of, like, you feel like you are in barriers and seeing, like, Kratos in that same kind of shoes and have the same, like, you grew up in this certain style and then you don't want to take it out on your, you know, that idea of, like, the parenting is definitely a trigger in the sense of, like, makes you, like, make sure you want to be a good parent. So obviously if you don't know if you're doing a great thing, and it's a lot of, that's struggling shit. But the back to the God of War part, like, I even get still teary-eyed watching there's that video of the actor who plays Kratos. They're talking about when he has to go back and grab the Blades of Chaos, and he kind of breaks down, like, his mental state about that scene of, like, where he got into that how he got into the mental state about his real life into that, and it's crazy. And just the idea, just it hits home. And back, like, leave on a positive note, like the idea of, like, spoilers, the idea of, like, that kid is Loki in the Norse mythology, and seeing where they can go. And obviously I have full faith in Cory Barlog and the whole team. And they also just announced they also are teasing there might be more God of War down the pipe. I love it. Keep it coming. All right. But yeah, those were my 5 big ones. Now we go into the real fun stuff for me. 5 indies. This is Atomic Hearts, if you don't know what it is. It's like I don't want to say open world because I don't know, but it's like BioShock with more of a computer. When I say computer, like a computer sci-fi, like the idea like you get plugged in. There's like decayed robots walk around instead of like, oh, it's a Big Daddy and they have a backstory like that. The world has been evolving so that there's like, futuristic plants that might, be poisonous and make gas and all that shit. But and also I can't describe it that well, but it has the BioShock-esque, so there's like, you can hold a gun and you might have a power in your other hand, maybe. I can't remember if I'm right on that one. But if you YouTube Atomic Hearts, you'd be like, oh, that's the game that he's talking about. Like this first-person shooter, story-driven one. That looks good. Biomutant, that game finally actually has a release date. And obviously, it's been in release limbo for years. But I like that idea of being the cat person and being in the animal world and have like that action adventure platforming like Ratchet and Clank, except this one's with swords and bows and arrows, I believe. I can't wait to at least check it out. Of course, I'm gonna wait for maybe a review because it's been in limbo for so long, just to make sure it's not like a wet dream. But yeah, Biomutant, and then Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, that Amber Labs PlayStation more focused indie title that we got announced for August. Looks great, looks beautiful. Can't wait. Hollow Knight, Silk Song, which is the sequel to the first Hollow Knight. That's a great Metroid. Hollow Knight is excellent. It's a great Metroidvania, and I like the difficulty, and I need to get back into it. I need to finish it up, but I was having a great time when I first saw it, and of course I love the art style of the Hollow Knight and the whole like dirt and bugs, and the Hollow Knight himself. He's a cute little guy. But the number one indie that I'm most anticipating for, that was just announced this week, was they fucking are making a 16-bit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brawler. And it's obviously going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And it's from the fucking makers of Streets of Rage 4. And that trailer, when it was a surprise drop this week, just like Jeff Keighley said, it was like a fucking present in disguise. There is so much flavor in that trailer, and then it also show how the game is going to be playing in this beat 'em up. Like, they even broke it down to like each turtle has a different style of a run, and the idea of and then Streets of Rage 4 was so good, so to know that studio is running this Teenage Mutant Turtles, basically arcade or Turtles in Time style-esque game, I can't wait. And I don't even know when it comes out because I don't even remember the end trailer part of it. But I just remember the whole, like, they had the theme song, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was such awesome. It went up so quickly, and it fucking hurt my heart seeing it. It was so awesome to see that we are in a time where, like, of course, graphics are good, blah, 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 but like, we can go back to like that old school arcade style of like having fun, like games are like, there's so much out there. It's the best time to be a gamer. I hate to break it to anybody who thought not, but it's the best time I've ever seen it. But yeah, those are the top 5 indies, and then I made a little list of I want to keep an eye on. More, just to say it, the last night, because I also, me, when I say I have 5 top 5s, there's of course going to be something we picked up before a top 5 was even thought of. So the last night was like an indie game that we saw at the Xbox presentation 2 years ago, and that when I was looking up games to be anticipated for this year, they brought this up again, but it was like a pixelated cyberpunk story game. I can't remember. Like, just, please listen to my words. Just go YouTube The Last Night, game. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. What happened to that? It hasn't came out yet. And I'm hoping it comes out this year. Deathloop. We obviously just discussed it. Deathloop is a game that people are crazing for, but I like to take a step back and wait for reviews or results for. That's why I have it in this side of the list. Deathloop looks okay, and the only thing right now that makes it look kind of interesting is that PS Plus has a discount. You can get it for $53. I looked at the digital deluxe version that can get you basically the price of a quote-unquote PS5 game, $70. But I'm like, do I really need this? I don't even know these charms, and I don't really care about a digital soundtrack. Like, do I? So the idea of getting the anticipated game for $50 sounds pretty good to me at this moment in time. And then I don't mind the aesthetic. It's just me. I'm like, yeah, should I wait or should I just wait for a discount? And then right now the opportunity is there for a discount. So I'm like, And then Gunvolt 3. Gunvolt 3 was discussed last week with that New Game Plus Expo. It looked good. I like that. That's, again, is one of those old school style games that's more like trying to be speedrun. Like if Sonic had a gun and it wasn't fucking Shadow, just speeding through the thing, trying to get good times and get everything collected during the level. And it's from Indie Crates, and Nier Replicant, which is obviously the prequel to Nier Automata, I believe, because obviously it's the first game from the Nier series. Nier Automata is excellent, and I wanted to check out this. This is, like I've been saying before, Nier Replicant, that's why it's coming out, is remember Nier on your PS3 and Xbox 360? Well, Japan had another version of Nier, and this is the version that was in Japan. Nier Replicant is coming to the States, but it's obviously going to be all glitz and glammed up to the PS4 and Xbox One standard of graphics. And it's going to have, I think, maybe a hairpin more automata battling, but I could be wrong on that. I think it just looks good. I like that environment and universe. Yuffie's episode of Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. Not saying I'm not going to get it, but again, I don't want to put it. I'm like, does this count as an indie? Does this count as a big AAA since it's just a DLC episode? So yeah, I'm going to be getting Yuffie's episode and enjoy it and see what she was doing in this new storyline of while I'm being Cloud and trying to take down Shinra. And the last one, just more because I hope this one comes to PlayStation, but I think it's only right now. This is one of those Xbox indie exclusives at launch. Song of Iron. We've talked about it before on when we've broke down Xbox Directs, but Song of Iron is like 2D Viking story. It's Salt and Sanctuary, because I don't want to say, it's like a Demon Souls, but the idea of it's just 2D, so you try and get from left to right, and then has a battle system of have to block and hit it right, or throw your axe like a Viking does. So it looks great in the sense of style, and I'm, it's one of those ones I keep an eye on, and I hope it does come over to PlayStation, because that's the console I have. But yeah, those are some of the smaller lists, and I could have broke it. Like I said, right now there's this great indie stream going on IGN that's been 2 days worth. I could have broke this baby down, and by the time I was done, I would have a tongue of sand. My fucking mouth would be as dry as the fucking desert. It would have been madness for me to just say this and this and this and this. So, hopefully that, and when this month, so tomorrow, but when this pops up, hey, I have a question for everybody. Please hit me up on at Mike Fowler 93. Tell me what your anticipated games are. You don't have to break it down like me, but I want to hear, give me 3 anticipated games for this year. All right, awesome. All right, and then before we go, I am also going to say this because I'm starting to get this thing, and I want to say another quick comic highlight, because I've said it before, it was a Cousin Cecil hot pick. I finally got my issue of Noctera, and that's you'll learn if you listen to the show, and if you know me as a person. Cousin Cecil is a jack of all trades, master of none, and he will say something without even opening up a book, without even putting a minute of the TV show on. But I just go with the flow of the world and what I see. Point and take. So, y'all like Steven Universe? Great show, right? I have not watched more than now, but with the story entail, I did not watch a lick of it besides channel surfing. But Steven Universe, I told my friend, oh yeah, you should check it out. He went home and he watched 4 seasons of Steven Universe and came back to me and goes, "You're right, Mike. That's a very great show. I actually, it's really great. And I really wanted to, break it down and talk to you." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I never watched it yet. And that he hates me now. But also that's him. That's his personality. But back to what I was trying to say. I wanted more touch base with a comic of a hot pick because I finally got it in the mail. That issue 1 of Noctera from Scott Snyder on Image Comics is awesome. And it's probably I don't want to say the best, but it's a very well done first issue that gives you a hook, gives you background, gives you so much, like a little bit of story, but it does it in that Scott Snyder sense. Like you could be 3 pages in and ask a question that was happening in those first 3 pages. Page 4 will give you that answer, but that's how he writes. And it was really good. And it is like Pitch Black, the movie, and Mad Max had a child. Because I didn't know what that was not when I first announced it on Hot Picks. Noctera is not a hero, like a superhero. It's about this world that, to my knowledge at this moment in time of just reading first issue, it's about what if the sun goes away? And then it starts, this shade that's covering the sun makes everything basically a monster. So even fish, fucking everything, and humans, and then human versions of this shade is the apex of this food chain. But the only thing that keeps you alive is staying in the light. And the idea, the first comic is, the protagonist, I'm gonna call her Sundog because Val. Her name's Val, and her CB radio name is Sundog. She was running a trailer, a truck trailer, a semi, with people refugees trying to get from one town to the other town, and obviously you have a lit up fucking a lit up semi rolling down the road, and then they have their first encounter of the monster that we get to see, and just the idea of hearing this whole story of I'm not spoiling it because I don't think it's a real spoiler because it's not about the story at hand. It's about the world. They're talking about, big cities got wiped quick, maybe within the first 10 days. But these smaller towns, were the ones that became really abundant size, like perfect sanctuaries. Not saying they don't die, but the idea of like the town that they finally get the semi truck in is he even says like, this town survived and it's one of the main sanctuaries because why get this town created light bulbs. We're making light bulbs. So they got to put the whole town on a grid of like lights that they've always had in stock. So that's kind of a great like background story to think about. But the ending gave you that good hook to give you that Mad Max flavor because the protagonist gets the mission to leave that town and go head to another dream idea. Because, this is a story. I'm just telling you the more vanilla version of it. Hey, can you take me here? They said that they have this. All right, we'll go. Then they meet the bad guy seems interesting because you haven't seen him yet, but his CB name is Blacktop Bill. But in the show, in the comic, he's just perfectly black. Like, no facial. You just see this big evil grin. And when he touches somebody, he can make a sunburn. But that's part of the story I don't know yet. That was literally the ending. And it looks great. And I think Noctera might be... I'm recommending it again. Before we even get into hot picks. I'm just recommending it again. You guys should check it out. But alright, yeah. This week's hot picks for movies and TV is going to be a little bit of a wrench because it's not a movie / TV. It's a fan-made movie-esque clip on YouTube. It's from the studio called Bat in the Sun. And I'd like everyone to go check out. This one is called Batman. Dying is Easy. It is 34 minutes of very, very well, high quality fan-made movie of Batman. And it's so well done. I think they have this actor, Kevin Porter, plays Batman in it. And I hopefully somewhere down the road, like maybe we have like one of those moments like we take a step back and look back at the past. They could like, you know what? That Kevin Porter, he could have been Batman. He could easily be a replacement for Ben Affleck's size of a Batman. He looks great. The suit looks great. The whole they have obviously special effects. And it looks really, really very neat. And I like the idea of seeing the Rogues Gallery just in little small segments. They're not. It's of course what would be the best fan service is just Batman and Joker talking. In this one, there's some fight scenes, but when they get through Arkham and you see Poison Ivy, you see even somebody playing the Riddler or even somebody playing Mr. Freeze, it just has a really good atmosphere. And it was really well done. So I want to just give kudos to pats on backs from Bat in the Sun. They have a Patreon. They made this all off Kickstarter too. This Dying is Easy. But yeah, guys, go check out Batman Dying is Easy on YouTube. All right, for comics, just because I'm a big, again, it goes into the Japanese Godzilla stuff. Marvel's Ultraman run starts this week on St. Patrick's Day. You can get the Trials of Ultraman, issue 1. So I like picking also these other ones that are, so it's not always capes, because this is going to go a little bit farther. And also on Image, there's also another one called Ultra Mega. And that one looked very interesting too. Taking a step back, because I also, how I record this, I look at these what's coming up, and I keep talking while I look down even more. This is a great week, period, for even DC. Justice League 59 comes out, and it's the starting of the Infinite Frontiers new team, which has, I'm going to call him Black Adam until I can read why he switched to Shit Adam. So he's in the team. It has Naomi, who's going to have her own CW show. It's a great starting line for you to jump into Justice League. And then also even for indies, there's also this Jim Henson Storyteller, The Trickster, issue 1. And I just saw this other one that's really cool, like a very over-the-top, like barbarian style story, which is from Dark Horse. It's called Orphan and the Five Beasts by James Stokoe, Stokoe. And then also, even leaving off here, there's going to be a new Superman comic that's not part of the Infinite Frontier, but that's how they make this style, called Superman Red and Blue. So, great week for comics. I wish I can keep going, but obviously I know how I do hot picks on comics. I keep giving you multiple things to spread your arms to read, so you know that's I suffer from FOMO really bad. But for music, I got Benny the Butcher, Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'll probably play a little clip of it at the end, like I did the past 2 weeks. You guys like that? Please, again, follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. I'll get back into that in probably this week, hopefully. Shout out to Target. They are the GOAT on having the proper, like the real snack aisle compared to some of these bigger grocery chains that are around me. They had the 3D spicy nacho Doritos. Those are great. And then they also have my new favorite, Ruffle. They have a flaming hot barbecue. They've like my grocery store the closest one near me, they have flaming hot Ruffles. Fuck that. I hate flaming hot in that sense. But when you put a little bit of barbecue in those chips, those motherfuckers pop. God damn. And then obviously just hearing it, they also have a liquor spot that you can get that's been very few and far between to find that peach Crown Royal I've been listening for. But anyway, shout out to Target. Shout out to you guys for pushing through this and listening to me and week in, week out. Hopefully, again, give me a shout out just so you know. All right, until next time, you be good to each other. Get ready for hopefully a double feature next week. But yeah, be good to each other and peace.
Yeah, you anything like me, them hand-to-hand sales made you. I'm one of them hustlers you gotta tell thank you. Got advice from my dog, I accept it cause it's love. He said we did the work, you give it to